It's becoming more and more prevalent that people are reaching out to me and saying, Anthony, I'm looking to move from Florida to Arkansas. People like you, my friend, that are doing research to understand, does the move make sense for them? Well, people move all the time and relocate to Northwest Arkansas and specifically Bentonville. Today, I'm going to deliver to you the top 3 reasons as to why people are reaching out to me and trading in the Sunshine State for the natural state. Of course, there are hundreds of reasons and circumstances why people leave one place and move to another, not just specifically Florida to Arkansas, but the number one reason, well, I shouldn't say the number one reason, the first reason that I hear many people are wanting to move from Florida to Arkansas is because it's so much less crowded here in Arkansas. So I thought I'd put together some stats and facts for you to help understand just how crowded is it in Florida compared to Arkansas. It's no secret that over the last 3 to 5 years, you in Florida have seen such an influx of people wanting to move there for a various amount of reasons. Again, people move for multiple different reasons, one of them being because of taxes. The state income tax in Florida, as you know, is 0. In fact, founder and former CEO of Amazon, Mr. Jeff Bezos, has recently moved to the Sunshine State in order to get closer to family, is what he says. But you and I both know, a recent sale of some Amazon stock, he probably saved himself about $140 million in income taxes from selling off that stock. Studies say that he's going to save anywhere from $500 to $600 million in taxes by future sell-off of Amazon stock. This isn't about Jeff Bezos, but that's one of the reasons why many people are moving there as well, is because of no state income tax. I personally have realtor friends and other contacts that have chosen to move to Florida because of their wanting to get away from the harsh winters that they've experienced in the Midwest or in the Northeast. And you may be asking yourself, Anthony, I thought we were talking about why people are moving to Arkansas from Florida. Well, it's helpful to know why people first move there. Maybe you are not from Florida and you're recollecting why you moved to Florida in the first place. But as one of the main reasons why I'm hearing so many people leaving Florida is because, again, how crowded it is. Let's dig into some of those numbers. According to World Population Review, there are 22,975,931 residents of the state of Florida. Over the last 5 years, Florida has averaged 1.2% increase in population year over year. Some years a little more, a little less, given your current population rate in Florida. By the year 2025, that'll increase to 23,265,427. And let me just save you the numbers. Here's 2026, here's 2027, here's 2028. And by the year 2029, 5 years from now, the population in Florida will be 24,475,915 people. Again, at a conservative 1.26% increase year over year. My friend, that's 1.5 million people in the next 5 years. You should know that 1.5 million, that's half of what Arkansas's current population is. Your next logical thought might be, Anthony, isn't Arkansas also increasing in population? Yes, it is, my friend. So I went ahead and did those numbers for you as well. Over the last 5 years, Arkansas has averaged 0.336% increase in population year over year. According to World Population Review, Arkansas's population is just over 3,089,000 people. So if we take our conservative number of 0.33%, I believe it's actually increasing faster than that, and I'll tell you a reason why here in a moment. But if we take that percentage and extrapolate that over the next 5 years, that would be to show that by the time we reach 2029, Arkansas's population will be 3,130,786 people. I disagree. I think it'll actually be more than that, but it's not going to be anywhere near the 25 million people that live in Florida. Here in Northwest Arkansas, there's what's called the Northwest Arkansas Council, and they have recently said that there are 36 net people moving here a day. My friend, that's 13,200 people that are moving here a year, which is more than what we talked about at 0.33% multiplied by the 3 million people that are already here. So I believe that areas like Northwest Arkansas, where I live and serve clients, is growing at a faster rate than the rest of the state. It's more desirable to live here. Places like Hot Springs and also west of Little Rock and maybe even North Little Rock around Conway are also growing rapidly as well. One more final fact as to the population density in Florida. Because of how crowded it is there, people are wanting to get away from so many people. Here's a fun fact for you. Currently, the amount of people per square mile in the state of Florida is 353 people. Yeah, I'm sure there's areas of Florida that are a little more spread out than that, but given the square miles in the state of Florida compared to the population, there are 353 people per square mile. Now let's take that down to Arkansas. I'll save you the numbers. Let's get right to it. There are 58 people per square mile in Arkansas. So there's a lot more populous areas again up here in Northwest Arkansas. Little Rock is also very populous as well, but many other parts of the state where you can go spread out, especially up just north of the border into Missouri or west of us into Oklahoma. Of course, with a more populous state, you're going to have more traffic issues, more crime issues and things like that. Now, granted, I'm not an economist and I don't know all that, but with more people comes more traffic, comes more time around waiting in line, and many other factors that play in when you have a higher density population. Next on our list is the rising cost of living. Of course, you would be silly not to know that the cost of living is increasing there in Florida and everywhere else in the United States. One, because of home prices. Two, because of inflation and interest rates. But what I'm specifically talking about, why people are leaving Florida and coming to Arkansas, is because of the home insurance rates. As I'm saying this, you may very well be nodding your head along with this saying, yeah, Anthony, you're not kidding. Of course, due to the influx of people wanting to leave and come because of no income tax, that's raising your real estate prices. And of course, the Fed changing interest rates has caused home interest rates to change. But more specifically, my friends, major multi-billion-dollar disasters like tornadoes and specifically hurricanes are causing insurance companies to raise up their prices because insurance companies are paying out claims and no longer have a fund to do that. So they're going bankrupt and or not insuring people any longer. Since 2017, 2 of the 6 costliest hurricanes have hit Florida. Probably still fresh in your mind is Hurricane Ian in 2022. Conversely, the lower cost of living is what's drawing people here. Now, granted, we don't have beaches like you have there in Florida, and we don't have as many days as sunshine, about 30 days less in case you were wondering. But many of my clients are telling me they are saving so much money by moving to Arkansas that they can save up those funds and go travel back to Florida, maybe not on the regular, but a little more regularly than you might think, to go visit family and friends. According to a recent article on businessinsider.com, Fort Lauderdale, Florida is one of the most expensive regions to live in Florida. Why are you telling me this, Anthony? Well, I'm going to compare the cost of living in Fort Lauderdale to Bentonville, Arkansas, which is one of the most expensive areas to live in Arkansas. According to Forbes.com's cost of living calculator, Bentonville, Arkansas is 27% less expensive to live there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, again, I know that you might not live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Maybe you live more inland. Perhaps you lived on the coast or you live on the Gulf side. Doesn't matter. I would bet to believe that you could probably plug in your specific city on the website and find out that very much the case that Northwest Arkansas or other places in Arkansas are a much better cost of living than you see there in Florida. Now, my friend, if you were to parse out specifically income tax, of course, Florida's got us beat all day long, but combination of housing prices, healthcare, fuel, other sorts of factors like what you might see on a consumer price index, you're going to see that Florida is much more expensive. I know that I'm probably going a little overboard, but I want to let you know this is a very common thing that people are telling me. Anthony, the cost of living in Arkansas is so much better than where it is here in Florida. Many people are moving to Arkansas because they're retiring, so that personal income doesn't matter either. And you might not be retiring, my friend, but if you want to talk specifics, it'd be my pleasure to visit with you about your specific situation to see if it makes sense for you to make the move from Florida to Arkansas. Rounding out our last but certainly not least reasons why people are leaving Florida and moving to Arkansas is the excessive heat that you experience there. Probably the combination with humidity as well. It's not the heat that gets you, it's the humidity, isn't that right? Arkansas does get hot and sticky in June, July, and August. And in fact, according to bestplaces.net, there are places in Arkansas that have higher temperatures than places in Florida, but it's very short-lived as Arkansas does cool off more in the winter months. Temperatures might actually be higher than what they are in Florida. However, once you combine the hot summer day with the temperature and the humidity that you receive there, it's a bit more comfortable during the summer months here in Arkansas. We might have a few days that peak out over 100, but we also have 4 seasons that you don't experience down there in Florida. We might actually get a little snow. We had a few inches of snowfall. Here in Northwest Arkansas, we average about 9 inches of snow each year. Little Rock sees about 4 inches of snow. So you may be coming up from Florida, like a recent client had told me, and they said, hey, you know what, it'd be great to go see some snow or see the leaves change, see the spring come when the tulips start popping up in early spring. They miss that and they want to see those types of things. So the hot, excessive heat, they're done with it. In addition to that, people say, you know what, we do want to see the 4 seasons, but we also don't want it to be so frigidly cold like maybe Michigan, Minnesota, or the Dakotas, that we want a more milder winter. So that's why Arkansas, some people say Tennessee or Texas, right? But that kind of gets us into a little bit of a bonus section I want to tell you. Again, before we go into this bonus section, of course, we said it's crowded in Florida. It's the cost of living, it's the excessive heat. As an added bonus, my research shows me that people are moving to Florida from California, New York, and New Jersey. You're probably hearing that around. Conversely, you may be hearing that many others that are considering to move are choosing to move just north of you into Georgia, maybe one of the Carolinas or Texas. Perhaps, my friend, you're ahead of the game by moving to Arkansas versus one of those other states where people from Florida are fleeing to. Of course, there are many other reasons why so many people leave Florida and come here, specifically to Northwest Arkansas, where I live and surf. But my friend, now you know a little bit more about what life is like in and around Bentonville. Thanks for watching.